Okay, so in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to add usernames and passwords to your virtual machine's RDP connections. So let's get started. Okay, so the first step that we need to do is to actually enable the VBOXAuthSimple library. We can do that just by opening up a terminal and by typing in VBOXmanage, and we're going to set a property, so set property, and the name of the property that we're going to set, which is VRDEAuth library, and the name of the library, and this is case sensitive, so it's capital VBOX, capital AUTH, capital SIMPLE, so VBOXAuthSimple, and just hit enter, and that's all done. So we can check that by going to the Virtualbox preferences, and you can see over here under VRDP Authentication Library, it's now set to VBOXAuthSimple. Now we can set that back to the default by using the same command and just changing the library to default. And that would just set it back to the standard VBOXAuth library. Now I'm just going to type a quick alias for VBOXmanage, so VB equals VBOXmanage, purely because I hate typing it in. So from now on, VBOXmanage is VB. It's much easier to type, it's only 2 characters. So the next step that we need to take is to enable the library for our particular VM. Now we can do this in one of 2 ways. We can do it in the GUI just by selecting our VM and going to display and then remote display and change the authentication method from null to external because we're using an external authentication method. And I'll just show you how to do that on the command line as well. So it's VBOXmanage, modify VM, and we need the VM name, so I'm just going to copy that. Fine. And paste that in, and then double dash VRDE auth type, and change that to external. So it's probably quicker to just do that in the GUI, but that's how you do it on the command line. Okay, so now we're just going to add some users and passwords. Now I'm going to show you where they actually get stored, so this all makes sense. If I just right click on the VM that we're going to do this to, and I click show in file manager, and let me just open up gedit. There we go. Now this is an XML file, so if I just drag that over into gedit and minimize this, this is where your usernames and passwords would be stored for your RDP connections. And as you can see, this file is in plain text, so we need to hash the passwords, and VBOXmanage has a tool to do that. So let's just create a password for our user first. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in VBOXmanage, so VB internal commands, so internal commands. And the command that we're going to run is called password hash, so no surprises there. And now we need to just enter in a password, so let's just, for demo's sake, call this password, worst password in the world, and hit enter. So now that we've got a password hash, what we need to do is add the user. So I'm just going to go and copy the name of the virtual machine again, so we're going to need that, so copy that and come back over to the terminal. So to add a user, all we need to do is type in VBOXmanage, so VB, and what we're going to do is we're going to set extradata, so set extradata, and we need the name of the VM that we're going to do this on, so paste that in there. And I'm just going to make this terminal a little bit wider so it's easier to see. And actually, let me just throw the name of the VM in quotes. So there we go, so that's in quotes. And the next bit, let's put this in quotes as well. It's all case sensitive, so we need to type in VBOX, so capital V, capital BOX, capital A, so AuthSimple, /users, / and now we need to enter in a username, so let's call our user Picard, and we need to enter in our password hash, so let's just copy that up here So copy, and then just Control-Shift-V to paste that. And that's it. So if we hit enter on that, and come on over to this XML file, which has been updated, and reload it, you'll see that we've got a new user here called Picard. Now to remove a user, all you need to do is type in the exact same thing, but without the password hash. So if I hit enter now, Picard gets removed from our VM's XML file here. So let's just re-add him in. And there we go, he's back in. Now just a quick thing to keep in mind, if you wanted to add this user to all of your VMs at once, all you'd have to do is type in everything as you see it here, but change the name of the VM here and just set that to global, and it will add the same user and password to all of your VMs. And just another quick tip, if you wanted to actually view the users that you've added, you can actually type in VBOX manage, so I'll just type in VB, and you want to type in get extradata. Extradata, there we go. Followed by the name of the VM, or you can just type in the UUID if you have that, but I'll just use the name of the VM, so paste that in there. And then you type in enumerate. And I'm just going to pipe that into grep, and I'm going to grep for VB, capital V and B. And there we go. So we can see the actual username here and their password hash. And again, you can replace the virtual machine name with global, and it will give you all of the users for all of the virtual machines. Okay, so let's see if we can access our VM using this user. So I'm just going to start up this VM and come back when it's all up and running. Okay, so the VM is up and running, or booting up, and I'm just going to use Romina to create a new RDP connection. And the server, I'm going to type in, I probably have it saved. Yeah, there we go. So the server is IP address followed by the port number. So if you're unsure about how to actually use RDP, I did another tutorial about that, so you can go and check that out. But let's just enter in, actually let's enter in no username and no password and see if we can get a connection. So connect, and unable to connect. So let's do that again. And this time enter in our user, which is Picard, and password was password. And let me just bump that up to 24. Perfect. Connect. There we go. We're now connected to our virtual machine using RDP, and we had to actually sign in to get a connection. So that's brought us to the end of this tutorial. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please don't forget to subscribe, and you can also follow Linux Leech on Facebook, Twitter and Google+. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.